Man, I don't know why I keep hoping for good things to happen. It just doesn't. It really just doesn't. So, let's talk about the new game update and the new guns and just guns in general. I'm going to give you guys some things. I'm going to give my opinions on it and we're going to see where it goes because obviously things don't change and nobody seems to learn from anything. So, let's talk about it. So, the Fal Shorty came out. Is that the name of it? The Fal Shorty. Yeah. Alright, cool. So, Fal Shorty came out. And again, even though it's considered an SMG, it is one of the fastest killing guns in the game. It kills faster than a Vector, kills faster than an M231, and it kills at the same speed of a Tech 9, which mind you, that's how fast the Tech 9 shoots, right? So the Fal Shorty kills just as fast, 2-shot headshots close range up to about 40 studs. So let's say this right here, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 studs, probably from here to that wall. Let's look at the recoil. It has a lot of camera compared to its actual recoil, but look at that. One bullet, and then it stabilizes vertically and just has horizontal. So let's shoot right here, and let's control that one little bullet, and look at the recoil. That's with no attachments. Now, mind you, let's go ahead and throw on full attachments. Alright, so here we have full attachments, using reflex, stubby, compensator, green laser. Let's see the recoil now. I won't control it. Right? That's a very tight spray for what the size of someone's head will be. And that's not controlling it at all. Now let's control it a little bit, just the vertical. We're just going to control the first shot. I'm going to control the first shot and then not move my mouse out through that. So I'm going to control where it goes from here to like here. Just control that little bit. And, it's almost like we have another overpowered Fal in the game. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It's almost like we don't have 3 of them already. And again, controlling the recoil a little bit. Wow, it's almost like this is, fair for a 2-shot headshot that has a faster time to kill than a Vector and an M231. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It really does. Now let's talk about the HK21, since I was personally excited about this, and I was able to pitch in some ideas, even though they got turned down and I was told that they don't want my help with gun balance. But let's look at it real quick. Default HK21, 39 damage to 29 damage, meaning it 2 shots to the head close range, and it 4 shots to the body all ranges. You throw AP on it, it becomes a 3-shot headshot close range, but it also becomes a 3-shot body shot all ranges. So it's a 3-shot at no matter what range you choose. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's take that off just so it's no attachments, and let's talk about this gun's recoil. Right? Okay, I'm gonna go back to the same place just so we have the same like kind of distance and things are kind of like a static distance on this, right? So we're gonna come to this box again, to this wall. Let's talk about the recoil on this, right? Let's just look. What in the ever-living hell is that? What? That's recoil. Now, I remember I proposed a potential recoil for the HK21, where it had a lot of vertical recoil initially, so it took about 4 shots to get to the top. So if we look, it would be kind of like that, and here's where it would stable out height-wise. So you'd start here, and it would stable out about here, and then it would go kind of side to side, not that far, but, side to side, and you wouldn't be able to control it necessarily. However, it had reason and it had kind of a logic behind it. Whereas this is what we have now, where I just watched our gun go up like that, over, and then do a full 360 right here. Now, mind you, the main issue with this is that PF doesn't have static recoil. And if you don't know what that means, it means that your burst and your recoil will never be the same. So let me show. We'll do about 3 or 4 round shots. So there's 3, 3, 3. And you could see that all of these are different, right? So they will never be the same. Well, they can be the same. However, in like initial testing, they won't be the same. Like there's 3, there's 3. Look at how different those bursts are. That one goes like that. This one goes diagonal. This one goes straight up. This one goes like kind of up in hooks. So this is the recoil we got. And with attachments, it's not much better. In fact, it's almost not really noticeable that some attachments are even on. But again, what? It literally went, okay. It went up like that, and then it hooked down like that. Like, why? What is even the purpose of that? And I like to consider myself a fairly accurate player, so let me see if I can control the recoil at all. I'll actually try to right now. Like, there's literally no controlling this. You can't judge when it's going to shake back and forth. You can't judge when it's going to go up and down. The issue is, in my opinion, mostly, is that it can go very random up, down, left, and right. So instead of like our proposed thing where our proposed was it goes kind of up and then it goes side to side. Whereas now it goes up and then just spazzes everywhere. Watch the recoil closely and watch how, like, after I get to the vertical peak, it'll go side to side, but it'll also go up and down. Just watch. So here, if I show you, we started off right here, we peaked about here, went over here, and then went all the way back up there? How does that make any sense? What kind of recoil is that? It's not even recoil anymore. There's no controlling the gun. It's either you shred someone close range or you just kind of spray and hope for the best. It's not about using a gun anymore. There's no learning the gun. It's all RNG, and RNG being random number generation, meaning that it's not up to you to control the gun. The gun isn't about skill at this point. It's about just hoping for the best. Because how can you control a recoil that literally has no pattern? Look at this. On this recoil time, we started here and all the recoil went to the right. Up and to the right. Now, on other times, you still go like this. The recoil is going left now, instead of right. There's no skill to this gun. It is simply just random number generation, and that is all. You would take out the player's input and make the input of the gun all reliant on number generation. That doesn't make any sense. Especially since the number generation is completely random, it doesn't help the players at all. There's no using this gun unless you just want to spray and hope for the best. Now, if you use a gun like this, like close range on like Metro or something, it's technically the fastest killing gun in the game. It kills faster than the Fals, it kills faster than any SMG in the game, and at close range, like if we're from here to here, how hard is it to just hit a few headshots quickly? Like you can burst and get 2 headshots very easily. Like the first 2 bullets aren't that high. Like here, look. So the gun dominates close range, is absolutely utterly useless at long range because you want all number generation rather than any player input. So skill does not matter at all with this gun, and that's okay. It doesn't make any sense. It's not about player input, it's just numbers. I don't know, man. Let's go back to the Fal Shorty real quick. This is an SMG with a 0.08 second time to kill. Vector 0.1, come to the M231 0.09, 1200 fire rate compared to a 700 fire rate. This gun can beat the M231. How is that fair? In any way, shape, or form, how is that fair? You would think that a gun being the most powerful SMG, this is, other than shotguns, because like other than one-shottable guns, this is now the most powerful close range gun. And I want to show something quickly, and I'm gonna like kind of show 2 clips of this so you could see it at the same time. But I want to show you the Fal Shorty's recoil with no attachments compared to the Vector's recoil with no attachments. Now, mind you, the Vector got nerfed because it was considered too accurate. So here, let's do this. That's a Fal Shorty, and let's show the Vector real quick. So the Vector essentially has more recoil. Now the Fal Shorty has more camera recoil, but the Vector itself has more recoil than the Fal Shorty and takes 2 to 3 bullets to max out its height rather than 1. Technically 2, I guess, if you want to count that like that on the Fal Shorty. But the Vector takes about 4 bullets to reach its maximum vertical. The Fal Shorty takes 1 or 2, depending on how you look at it. So I guess 2. How is this fair? Like, why are we constantly creating Fals that are utterly impossible to compete with? What is the purpose behind this? And people say I complain about battle rifles and everything. You didn't even call this a battle rifle. You took the amount of damage that the battle rifles have, cut off the long range damage by a little bit. Like instead of 32, it's at 24, and gave it similar recoil, but now it's the strongest close range gun in the game. This is an SMG that won't lose. Now there are slightly more accurate guns, but up to 40 studs, which is its maximum distance, this isn't that hard to control. It has more camera recoil than anything. What was the purpose of that? Not to mention that the HK21 still ain't nerfed, by the way. This gun, let's look at it real quick. Reflex comp angled green laser. It's still 2-shot headshots close range. It's still 4 shots to the body at long range. Can still burst 1,000 bullets per minute. And let's look at the recoil. I'm not controlling. This is what it can do. 2-shot headshot close range. Is there ever going to be a time where balance is ever done correctly? Now, like, granted, there are times where you have to look at balance and, like, mistakes might be made, but have we not learned from fouls in the past? Are we not learning constantly that these guns are extremely overpowered? Why can a gun this accurate, 2-shot headshot, shoot 1,000 RPM with burst, and 4-shot to the body at a long range? Why is the Fal the strongest gun at basically every category? Not as much anymore because you nerfed its, like, recoil some, but why is it still 2-shot headshot close range, and it's not hard to control? Why is the Fal, like the normal Fal 50, still not that hard to control, and it can still destroy up to about like 150 studs? But what? Like, why are these things happening and nothing's being learned that these Fals are overpowered? That we're constantly adding this same type of gun to the game and they're all broken beyond belief? Why was the HK added and it literally, it doesn't know what to do with itself? Like, what? Like, who thought this recoil was okay? Look at that! How are you supposed to hit anyone? I'm maybe like 60, I'm maybe 50 studs right now. Maybe. I'm not even sure. Probably about 50 studs. And what is this recoil? So we have a gun like this that is insanely strong close range still, but at a long range it's utterly useless. But then you take a gun like the M60, which would be its kind of counterpart, 200 less rate of fire. It can kill in, I think it's 0.03 seconds slower, but the M60's recoil still isn't touched. It's still insanely accurate. It has no horizontal whatsoever, it's just vertical, and how hard is that to control? Dude, I don't know anymore. I'm getting to the point where I'm like slowly stopping to care, because it's obvious that nothing's going to be done anywhere near decently. And the feedback offered isn't helped at all. Like, I'm not saying my opinions that I had on the HK21 were perfect, but I took their original ideas and I tweaked them so they made sense. I give up, man.